Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Thank you for joining us. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. The global community, government and people of Nigeria have continued to react to the sudden death of the outgoing Secretary General of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, Mohammed Sanusi Barkindo, whose sad event took place early hours of today. Benny Adams reports that his remains have left Abuja to his hometown, Yola, where he will be laid to rest at the palace of the Lamido of Adamawa by 4 p.m.
Mohammed Sanusi Barkindo was visibly present at the ongoing energy summit in Abuja and later at the State House, where he went to visit President Muhammadu Buhari.
The future looks very promising.
Then the sudden news of his death, early morning.
10:15 we was together here with other people. I greet him. I go back home. Somebody called me. Barkindo died. I was really shocked. Barkindo is leaving us in very bad time because he was a good help for Nigeria at this moment. He was making a lot of projects for it.
Whatever one can say has been summarized by President Muhammadu Buhari yesterday, that this is a very, very proud, illustrious son of Nigeria who has done Nigeria, Africa and the world proud. May his soul rest in perfect peace.
His remains have been taken to Yola, where he will be laid to rest amid outpour of emotions. Since assumption of office as OPEC Secretary General in August 2016, Barkindo has played a significant role in the formation of historic Declaration of Cooperation, helped the global community in navigating through two major industry downturns of 2015 to 2016 and 2020 to 2021. He was instrumental in the setting up of the Charter of Cooperation and was a consummate diplomat in further advancing dialogue and cooperation with a variety of industry stakeholders in the attainment of energy sufficiency. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
In the same vein, President Muhammadu Buhari is deeply saddened by the death of Alhaji Mohammed Sanusi Barkindo, the Secretary General of Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. The President pays tribute to the remarkable gentleman and enormous national asset, who from his youthful days worked meritoriously in the service of the nation in various national and international capacities, and never stopped being a beacon of light to the country he loved until his last breath. The President affirms that Barkindo's undeniable brilliance and legacies as a dedicated public servant will remain a reference point in the oil and gas industry, international development, and the environment sector. The President salutes Barkindo's leadership at OPEC, including during very turbulent times in 2016 and 2020, noting that the Declaration of Cooperation birthed under his watch helped strengthen and consolidate OPEC, non-OPEC cooperation and dialogue. President Buhari conveys his deepest condolences to Barkindo family, colleagues at OPEC, as well as the government and people of Adamawa State, and prays for the repose of the soul of the departed and comfort to all who mourn. Similarly, the International Energy Forum (IEF) Secretary General Joseph McMonigal and IEF staff are saddened by the death of the OPEC Secretary General Mohamed Barkindo, saying he will be remembered as a significant figure in the history of global energy governance and will be sorely missed. The IEF Secretary General and staff extend their condolences to his family, friends, and colleagues. Tributes have been coming in from key players in the oil and gas industry to celebrate the man Mohamed Sanusi Barkindo, an OPEC icon and a friend dear to many. Lydia Sampson reports on the life and achievements of the late OPEC Secretary General.
August 2022, Dr. Mohamed Sanusi Barkindo would have finally bowed out as OPEC Secretary General after a meritorious service to join the Atlantic Council as a distinguished fellow in the Global Energy Center after the conclusion of his 6-year term. A diplomat par excellence who was born on 20th of April 1959, Mohamed Sanusi Barkindo has been OPEC Secretary General since 1st August 2016. He previously served as Acting Secretary General in 2006, represented Nigeria on OPEC's Economic Board from 1993 to 2008. He also served as the Group Managing Director of the then Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation from 2009 to 2010 and had headed Nigeria's technical delegation to UN climate negotiations since 1991.
We attended the same university, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Coming from the same faculty, the same department, we read the same course. He was a very amiable person, very up and doing.
He has been doing a lot, a very workaholic person, and as to technocrat when it comes to the oil industry, he is a household name everywhere in the world. When you mention about his name, he's somebody who has everything that is needed in that industry. It's a huge loss indeed.
His passionate approach to global energy issues played out even as Barkindo spent his last day on Earth engaging with stakeholders at the Nigerian Oil and Gas Conference.
The future for this industry, for oil and gas, remain bright. The data, the statistics, and the science all portrays that point. One, this world will continue to consume oil and gas for the foreseeable future.
As at the time of this report, key players in the oil and gas had taken to their Twitter handles to pay tributes to the man, Dr. Mohamed Sanusi Barkindo. Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
That is the reality of life. Now let's join Yusuf Jika live in Yola. Yusuf, if you're there, tell us what's going on right now.
All right. Thank you. I'm live from Yola, and the situation here in Yola, the sad news of the date of OPEC, struck the Adamawa state and also Yola in particular in shock. Considering the fact that the outgoing Secretary General was there on the headlines of news all over yesterday. It's only this morning that people woke up with the sad news. I was talking with one of his brother, Abuja, this afternoon. He told me that the deceased has spoken with his mother yesterday, telling her that after meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari yesterday in the evening, will come down to Yola first thing in the morning. So they only woke up with the sad news that he was normal. And his corpse arrived Yola International Airport by 1:40, and he was conveyed straight to his family compound where his mother and relatives paid him a farewell. From there, we are right now in the Lamido's Palace, where the funeral prayer will take place. As I'm talking to you right now, we just finished Asr prayer in Yola, where Imam of Modibo Adama Central Mosque will be presiding the funeral prayer in the person of Grand Kadi Ahmad Boboy. So there are a lot of people from all walks of life converting Yola to sympathize with the situation, and from the federal government side, we have Minister of SCT, who is leading the delegation. And also on the part of the Adamawa State government, SSG Bashir Ahmad, he is the team leader. They are all there, fully in attendance, and some part ministers also present is the APC governorship candidate in Adamawa State. Aishatu Dairo Ahmed Benani was also here. Is also here in attendance.
All right, thank you, Yusuf, for that update. It's really a sad development. In fact, the whole Nigerians mourn. Everybody is in a sad mood. Thank you for that update. We hope to hear more updates as the bulletin goes on. May his soul rest in peace.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
President Muhammadu Buhari will depart Abuja Wednesday, July the 6th to participate in the International Development Association IDA for Africa Summit in Dakar, Senegal, at the high-level event slated for Thursday, July 7th and hosted by President Macky Sall of the Republic of Senegal. President Buhari is expected to join other African leaders in the open dialogue on development challenges and priorities, as well as transformational initiatives that will lead to an outcome document, the Dakar Declaration. This commitment is expected to chart the way forward for the transformation of the economies of these nations in partnership with the World Bank and IDA. President Buhari is expected back in the country at the end of the summit on Thursday, the 7th of July. The 7 newly appointed ministers have been sworn in to fill existing vacancies in the Federal Executive Council created by the departure of those who resigned to pursue political aspirations. President Muhammadu Buhari, who performed the ceremony, charged the ministers, both new and old, to totally eschew corruption, warning that if caught, there will be no sacred cows. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the new appointees have already been assigned portfolios following a minor cabinet reshuffle announced by the president.
Those sworn in to continue the lofty objectives of the Buhari administration include Iko Henry Ikechiku from Abia State, Minister of State, Science and Technology, Okon Umana, Akwa Ibom State, Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Udum Udi, River State, Minister of State for Environment, and Ademola Adewole Adegoroye, Minister of State for Transportation. Others were Umar Ibrahim Eliakub Kano, Minister of State, Works and Housing, Goodluck Nana Opia, Imo State, Minister of State for Education, and Ekuman Kama, Joseph Nkama, Ebonyi State, Minister of State for Health. Meanwhile, following a minor cabinet reshuffle, Senator Adeleke Mamura becomes the substantive Minister of Science and Technology, Muazu Jaji Sambu, Minister of Transportation, while Sharon Ikiazu and Bumishola Saraki have been redeployed to the Ministries of Niger Delta Affairs as well as Mines and Steel Development, respectively, as Ministers of State. President Muhammadu Buhari, who congratulated the new ministers, tasked them to consider their appointments as a call to duty as well as an obligation to serve the nation diligently. The new ministers, he said, are coming on board with new energies, ideas, experiences, and vigor to join the existing team to not only escalate but accelerate the administration's efforts at securing the nation, diversifying the economy, and fighting corruption.
I charge you to work with common objectives of leaving indelible legacies for Nigerians and ending strongly with verifiable accomplishments. You must resist bad counsel, resist temptation, and be circumspect in your utterances and conduct. You must totally eschew corruption and be above board, because if caught, there will be no sacred cows.
President Buhari said, although a lot has been achieved by his administration since coming to power, there is still much more to be done for Nigeria, even as the nation prepares for the 2023 elections.
I am certain that you all recognize that time is of the essence as you assume office as ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I expect you to to carefully study your sectors, take wise counsel, reach out to key stakeholders, consult and collaborate with all our cabinet colleagues, and focus on driving key programs already initiated by this administration. Above all, be loyal to your president and your country.
The Secretary to the Governor of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, will in the coming days communicate to the new ministers their appropriate ministerial mandates so that the business of governance would not experience delays or setbacks. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The People's Democratic Party has embarked on a nationwide permanent voter card sensitization, appealing to Nigerians to get their PVCs to make the desired impact in next year's general elections. Timothy Yusuf witnessed the flag-off of the exercise in Abuja and now reports.
College leveraging on the period for continuous voter registration exercise extended by INEC to Nigerians. You may not be wrong. PDP is among those taking advantage of the extension.
So it is the time to act now. You have to go out there, get people informed, let them come out and get their PVC.
What started as an in-house sensitization at the National Secretariat now taken to the party's Legacy House in Abuja, where a national sensitization and roadshow was flagged off.
And those who have not registered to take the window now that are available by INEC to go ahead, come out en masse and register and pick up the permanent voters card.
Women constitute a large percentage of the population, over half, and they need this sensitization. We are targeting 10 million youths.
Every eligible Nigerian electorate has the constitutional right to decide who governs the country through the use of their votes at the polling units.
Everybody should hurry up and get his or her PVC. And without your PVC, you are nothing.
Let the message go down to the grassroots, just not the grassroots, to the state.
Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Here's on to Nationwide. Let's join Kende in Lagos for more stories from that zone. Hello, Kende.
Hello, Lydia. Glad to have you join us in Lagos. The Lagos State INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner Olusegun Agbaje has urged Lagosians to pick up their permanent voter cards at the designated locations in Lagos. Annie Daniels has details.
The Lagos State INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner Olusegun Agbaje describes as worrisome the attitude of Lagosians towards collecting their permanent voter cards. Agbaje says that over 1 million PVCs are yet to be collected, adding that only 6,382 out of 34,242 PVCs were picked up after the continuous voter registration CVR in the first and second quarters of 2022. Agbaje found that this is just 18.6%.
The PVCs that are out now, I also did election the first 2 quarters. I think between June last year and 14th of January this year. All those later between, let's say from the middle of January to now, they are supposed to come later. But all those registered largely in the first 2 quarters, those who transferred, those whose PVCs were damaged and lost are reported. Their PVCs are now in the 20 local government areas of Lagos State and all the local government areas of the Federation.
Similarly, for the OPVCs, he says a total of 1,091,157 are still uncollected by their owners.
Agbaje reminds Nigerians that they can only exercise their franchise and choose candidates of their choice only with their PVCs. The more reason they should register and pick up their PVCs. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Nigeria is strengthening its bilateral relations with the European Union through the agricultural sector, as the collaboration is birthing a 1.3 billion euros agribusiness platform. Rothario Samuel reports that the platform will create more opportunities for investments.
The agricultural sector has continued to yield positive impact as a means of revenue diversification for the country. The sector's input to GDP stands at 22% and has in no small measure contributed to food security in the country. This gathering of industry players from the public and private sector is rubbing minds to harness the full potential of the agricultural sector.
The population of Nigeria is growing to 5 million people per year. That's the population of my country. The quantities of food that you will have to produce will have to increase substantially on a daily basis in order to feed the population, and that is where I will focus.
There are products that Nigeria exports, sesame seed, ginger, and then it's a matter of assisting those companies in Nigeria who produce that in meeting the EU standards.
While reiterating government's commitment to sustaining the development of the agricultural sector, Minister of Agriculture represented noted that the agricultural sector is changing with increased government policies aimed at stimulating private sector investment and boosting local production of key products.
We have boundless resources, and we can develop on all of them, and particularly now that we have the opportunity of working with the European Union.
Well, the EU collaborations is a very good initiative, which I believe will help Nigerian government in the first place to improve revenue generations.
This collaboration will provide ways to support, promote, and increase climate-smart agricultural production, which will address food insecurity, increase agricultural exports, tackle skill gaps, as well as job creation. In Lagos, Ruth Ario Samuel, NTA News.
And that's a contribution from Lagos. Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.nd/live and at all the social media handles displayed on your screen. Abubakar in Maiduguri is standing by to lead us through the next set of reports after this break. Just stay with us.
Have your PVC ready. Conduct yourselves orderly. Join the queue. Cast your vote secretly. Thumbprint correctly. Do not waste your vote. Do not sell your vote. Secure your future. If you sell your vote, you have sold good roads, electricity, water, education, good health care, etc. Be part of nation building. Cast your vote for honest candidates. Shun electoral violence. You could lose your life for nothing, for nothing, for nothing. This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
Now, what would make someone set out on a journey and not get to his or her destination? Now, imagine the victim who cannot reach out to these responders, who doesn't even have the phone to reach out. Hello, thank you very much for joining us on platform. I'm Ruth Agwe.
And the girl, especially if the girl is a minor, she's not yet 18 years, if she gets pregnant, realize that such girl is sent out of school and the boy is left in school.
Just park to pick the call.
So how much sensitization is the FIS?
I don't agree. A lot of people are just deaf.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Preview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
But Lalo, Nigeria are the 9th champions in this competition.
The 12th edition of the Africa Women's Cup of Nations is here with 12 teams including reigning champions and 9-time winners, Super Falcons of Nigeria, all in contention from July 2 to 23 in Rabat, Morocco. You can catch all the actions live on the NTA network service and NTA Sports 24, channel 270 on Star Times, 434 on Starsat and 731 on Free TV. Come, join us to promote another championship round by the Super Falcons. For your advert placement, please call Hawa on 0803 312 1022. Africa Women's Cup of Nations, Rabat 2022. Game on!
We're glad to have you back on Nationwide on the largest television network in Africa, the NTA. And this is Maiduguri Network Center. Let's move on now. Ahead of the forthcoming trial census, National Population Commission, NPC, Borno State, has held a town hall meeting with stakeholders from central and northern senatorial zones. The interactive session, steered by the NPC Federal Commissioner for Borno, Barrister Isa Odubrate, provided clear understanding to critical stakeholders from the two senatorial zones on all issues relating to the pilot enumeration exercise that will prepare ground for a seamless 2023 census. Here are more details of the story.
The town hall meeting, which brought together heads of security organizations, traditional leaders, and local government chairmen from 9 local governments within northern and central Borno senatorial zones, among other personalities, was specifically designed for participants to make critical submissions on how best to achieve the desired result ahead of the forthcoming trial census towards guaranteeing a prosperous population and housing census in 2023. Chief Host and Federal Commissioner, National Population Commission, Borno State, Isa Odubrate, described the participants as game changers in the activities of NPC who can make a lot of difference on the organization's target, and commended Governor Babagana Umara for supporting all its programs for local and national development.
The level of participation, the quality of participants, the people that have, all the local government chairmen are here from these selected local government areas, Borno North and Borno Central. We expect to succeed in the trial census leading to the real census.
Questions, suggestions, comments, and observations, especially on matters concerning security, took precedence during the event, where every issue raised was well attended to and clarified by senior officials of the NPC and other relevant stakeholders.
Away from activities of the National Population Commission for now, towards entrenching sustainable peace and development, Borno State Government has inaugurated Committee on Repatriation and Return of Displaced Persons from Chad, Niger and Cameroon, as well as management of repentant insurgents. The committee, which has the State Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadafur as the chairman, was inaugurated by Governor Babagana Umar Zulum, in addition to Committee on Resettlement of Kudumbali and Mairari communities in Guzamala local government area. Mohammed Goni will now tell us more.
The Committee on Repatriation of Displaced Persons from Borno in Chad, Niger and Cameroon, and the Management of Repentant Insurgents is akin to the one headed by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osibanjo, with Governor Zulum as the Vice Chairman. Committee was inaugurated at the state level, comprising all stakeholders, including security formation for seamless interface with the federal government's committee to ensure success of the task ahead. The Repatriation and Management of Repentant Insurgents Committee has been mandated to, among other things, advise government, repatriate and return displaced persons of Borno extraction from Chad, Niger and Cameroon, manage surrendered insurgents, their arrival, feeding, accommodation and reintegration into the society.
Right now, all the 3 camps are full. It's a matter of serious concern to all of us. I had a meeting with the theater commander yesterday. I've directed him to look into the possibility of establishing additional bigger camp.
Governor Zulum said inauguration of Committee on Resettlement of Budumbali headquarters of Guzamala local government area and Mairari community was in line with President Muhammadu Buhari's directive for speedy resettlement of all communities declared safe for habitation. Terms of reference of the committee is to ensure attainment of minimum threshold for resettlement of communities, including basic social amenities such as water supply, healthcare facilities, police station and schools, among others, as well as trenches to fortify Mairari community. Chairman of Repatriation and Repentant Insurgents Management Committee, Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadapur, represented by the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Barrister Kakasho Lawan, and that of Gudumbali Mairari Resettlement Committee, Commissioner for Local Government and Emirate Affairs Gunmai Mele, thanked the Governor for finding them worthy and assured to live up to expectation. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
If you're just joining us, you're on to Nationwide on Africa's window to the world, the Nigerian Television Authority. Let us at this point return to Lydia in Abuja for more reports for us this evening. So Lydia.
Thank you very much. More than 300 escapees from the Kuje Medium Custodial Center have been rearrested following Tuesday's jail attack in which about 600 inmates, including Boko Haram terrorists, were released. Minister of Defense Bashir Magashi gave this update during an on-the-spot assessment of the facility. Victor Azul reports.
Nigerians have become familiar with jail attacks in recent times. Available data suggests that there have been 15 successful such attacks in the last 5 years. Through it all, the Kuje Medium Custodial Center had been a fortress. That seeming invincibility has now been violated, and rudely so. The signs are telling.
The people who came to do these activities, from the records, we believe that they belong to a particular group, and most likely they are Boko Harams, because we have sizable number of Boko Harams that are in detentions, and presently we could not locate any of them. Only number, I think there are about 64 that is in the prison, and none of them now is available. They have all escaped.
An officer of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps paid the supreme price. A few others are hospitalized and several vehicles damaged.
They came very, very determined. They came in with high explosives. The initial entry attempt was unsuccessful with a very high-grade explosive, but they couldn't break it. Then they attacked another section of the wall with even higher-grade explosive, which brought the wall down. And the forces on ground did everything they could to repel them within the forces, but the numbers they came with was a very high number in which they were not able to defend against.
Like in previous cases, society now has to contend with the fear of locking fugitives.
Many of them have returned. They have reported themselves to the police. Some have returned. Some we have successfully retrieved from the bushes where they're hiding. And right now, at least we have retrieved about 300 out of about 600 that's out of the jail cells, and the retrieval is going on. We receive reports that there are still about 50-60 that have been intercepted.
This jail attack has come at a significant cost: loss of life, injuries to personnel, and damage to property. But one more thing to worry about is the steady release of hardened criminals into society. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammad Buhari has paid a fact-finding visit to Kuje Correctional Facility following attack by unknown gunmen. To talk more on this unfortunate incident, I have with me in the studio Rekpene Basi, a security specialist. Thank you for joining us on Nationwide.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Now, in the light of this jail attack, most people call it jailbreak, but it's an attack at Kuje Correctional Center. What advice would you give security agencies at this point in time, and in fact, Nigerians?
Well, it's very unfortunate that this happened. Kuje Prison, it's a holding place for high-profile criminals, and it's a maximum, prison that it can happen or could have happened as it did. To say the least, is unfortunate, and it's a major and monumental breach in the country's security. And I want to boldly, courageously say it may have been occasioned by some security laxity. Why? It's because terrorists are in the class or category of criminals that may be termed professional criminals. So they may or may not act spontaneously. Usually they'll plan the attack. What that means is that this plan may have gone on for a while. So advice. I thought I should give this background before I prefer some advice. The advice is for security to up its game, to recalibrate, for security to be more up and doing. For example, I want to believe that the system ought to have, given the fact that it's a maximum prison, the intelligence, system of that, jailhouse ought to be above board at all times, so that this could have happened and they had laid explosives. They may have come in their large numbers, but if intelligence was good, if there was good enough surveillance technology, this may have been forestalled and repelled successfully. So my advice is that whatever we didn't do well, we need to start doing them well in terms of security intelligence.
But must we always wait for things to happen?
Unfortunately, we are usually very active when it comes to security instead of being proactive. I mean, how do you imagine that they had, according to information available, laid out explosives around the place, and before they started to detonate them. So, and in this environment, there could have been sufficient, physical security deployment. If that was backed up by, good enough security intelligence, then this shouldn't have happened. So it's a sad commentary that we are almost always usually reactive when we should be, proactive. Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, I don't know what more to say. Any final words?
Well, the country is going through a lot of challenges.
Yes.
From what the Minister of Defense just said, a number of them, may have been taken back in there. But if 300 out of 600 have been taken, then we still have 300 others out there who are very dangerous criminals. And I think for members of the public, be careful how you drive around. Do not give, a right to individuals or persons you do not know, because you want to be kind or benevolent. So the need for security consciousness amongst members or generality of the public, must be upped.
Thank you very much for coming on Nationwide. We appreciate you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Been talking with Rep. Nebasi, a security specialist. Moving on. The presidency has described as sad and unwelcome the shooting incident near Dusama, Katsina State, at a convoy of cars carrying the advance team of security guards, protocol and media officers ahead of President Muhammadu Buhari's trip to Daura for Salah. The attackers opened fire on the convoy from ambush positions but were repelled by the military, police and DSS personnel accompanying the convoy. 2 persons in the convoy are receiving treatment for the minor injuries they suffered. All the other personnel, staff and vehicles made it safely to Daura. The effective utilization of the secured criminal database of the Interpol is a reliable platform in the fight against transnational crimes. Inspector General of Police Usman Al-Kali Baba is, however, not happy over the underutilization of this platform. This was during an interagency security meeting on Interpol in Abuja.
This is a meeting of law enforcement agencies in Nigeria to take full advantage of the opportunities provided by Interpol. It is a follow-up to the meeting held in France, where security agencies were exposed to the emerging tactics deployed by criminals, especially in the cyberspace.
Criminals that are bound all over the world, they are being profiled, uploaded into the system. All you need to do is to query. You have difficulty even tracing funds, and that is why we are bringing all the law enforcement agencies together.
Transnational and organized crimes impact almost all countries, ranging from terrorism, proliferation of small arms and light weapons, human trafficking and migration. So there is need for all security agencies to work together to defeat such. And IGP Usman Alkali Baba in particular about this fight.
In furtherance to this, the federal government has approved the establishment of the National Crime Data Fusion Center, which will be hosted by the Nigerian Police with the integration of other relevant law enforcement agencies. This center will have the capacity to collect, analyze, and share criminal data with other security agencies.
If we cannot solve the problems of organized crime, then nobody is going to do that.
Wisdom dictates that we must necessarily cooperate in order to achieve our mandate, and we must take advantage of available resources and information.
Beyond such gatherings, security agencies are expected to explore the I-247 secured criminal database of Interpol in the fight against all forms of crimes. Francis from NTA News.
Now time to join Obehi in Benin for the updates from that zone on Nationwide. Obehi, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Lydia, for joining us here in Benin. The two Catholic priests abducted along the Benin-Auchi Expressway last Saturday have regained their freedom. This is sequel to the security meeting held by the acting governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu. The report.
The released priests, Reverend Father Odo Peters of St. Patrick's Catholic Church, Uromi, and Reverend Father Philemon Obu of St. Joseph Retreat Center, were received in Government House by the acting governor this Wednesday morning. Meanwhile, the acting governor, Philip Shaibu, had engaged stakeholders in a security meeting to brainstorm and chart the way forward amidst the rising security situation in the state. First, he met with heads of security agencies and religious leaders in the state, and later, it was the turn of heads of local government areas, prominent traditional rulers, vigilante heads from the 18 local government areas, and representatives of Hunters Association, with a view to adopting new level of engagement and stepping up surveillance and collaboration to effectively protect lives and property. The State Commissioner of Police, Abutu Yaro, underscores the essence of the meeting in mitigating the ugly trend if stakeholders play their role.
We believe that we as people, we have our people to make life better for us. And it is important that this institution, with the widest method,
At the end of the meeting, the acting governor, Philip Shaibu, briefed newsmen.
The meeting has been very fruitful, and we've gotten new things which we are going to add to the new security architecture that we are upgrading, and we are confident that with the consultations that we have done so far, Edo will be too hot for these criminals.
Participants at the meeting are expected to go back to their domains and work according to plan.
More Deltans have been taking advantage of the extension of the voter registration exercise to ensure they participate actively in the 2023 general elections. Kelvin Ogbeche, who visited some of the INEC offices in the state, reports that unlike last month, there have been a significant reduction of queues at the registration centers of INEC headquarters, Asaba. The report.
Since INEC extended the continued voter registration exercise indefinitely last week, the number of registrants for the exercise has reduced drastically. Now registration is going on peacefully and orderly. Some of the registrants praise the manner the officers carry out the exercise without delay.
The manner at which the officers are attending to our people from Delta State is very, very okay.
My advice is let everybody come here and register and collect their PVC because everything here is moving normal.
Apart from fresh registrations, other forms of registrations that are ongoing at the centers include transfer, voter update, and replacement of damaged cards. One of the concerns of INEC is double registration, which is a punishable offense.
Apart from first-time registrants, over 50% of those who were coming to be part of the crowding at the registration centers in Delta State appears to be those who have lost their PVC but are unwilling to come up and admit that they have lost their PVC. The result of that is that most of those who registered in that manner eventually end up being screened out.
Those of us who say we are essential duty make deliberate effort to register, then on the day of election and cast your vote.
In this regard, out of the 140,000 registrations made in the first and second quarter of the exercise, only 70,000 were valid after the back-end screening of registration through automated biometrics identification system. In Asaba, Kelvin Ubechi, NTA News.
And that is Benin's contribution to Nationwide today. Please remember that you can stay connected to this news broadcast live at nta.ng/live or any of our social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. And we'll take another break. Asmao is standing by in our Sokoto Network Center with more reports.
Pleased that the Buhari-led administration has made remarkable progress,
like Lafia Transmission Station nearing completion.
Africa does not need charity, but partnerships that will promote the adequate investment
with the cooperation of all.
Sharing firsthand the experiences of reporters on the field as they bring to you weekly the beauty of Nigeria's diverse culture and the economic potentials therein. The Correspondents, development through the eye of the grassroots, showing every Monday at 1:30 p.m. on the network service of the NTA, with a repeat broadcast on NTA News 24 and NTA International. Join us.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Engage your team this summer at Digitest 2022, an annual ICT creative camp and competition for young minds of ages 8 to 18. With the theme Connecting Technology, Energy and Climate. Date Saturday, August 13 to Sunday, August 21st, 2022. Venue, Top Faith International Secondary School, Pact, Akwa Ibom State. For registration, visit www.digitalpairs.org. For information and inquiries, call 0807-782-3307 or 0807-782-3308. For more updates, follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and link it at Digital Pairs. DigiTest is brought to you by Digital Pairs International in collaboration with the Akwa Ibom State Government.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us here in Sokoto. The Kebbi State High Court in Birnin Kebbi has sentenced Suleiman Idris to death by hanging, having been found guilty of killing Sadia Idris and her 4-year-old daughter Khadija Alkilu in Birnin Kebbi. Correspondent Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports that the accused was found guilty of 2 charges bordering on culpable homicide. The report.
The 25-year-old Suleiman Idris was arraigned before the court in Birnin Kebbi on 2 account charges of culpable homicide. The accused was said to have murdered 25-year-old Sadia Idris and her 4-year-old daughter Khadija Akilu on the 11th of April 2022, an offense punishable by death under Section 191 of Kebbi State Penal Code 2021. During the trial, the prosecution counsel barrister Zainab Muhammad Jabba said the section under which the offense was committed was non-negotiable and therefore put a strong case for maximum sentence on Suleiman, backing some with strong evidence as contained under the section he was charged. Counsel to the accused barrister Al-Hassan Salihu Muhammad earlier appealed for the court to temper justice with mercy as the accused was remorseful. Justice Ambrose, while delivering judgment, noted that based on the evidence provided by the prosecution and the confessional statement of the accused, the court is left with no option but to sentence him to death. Shortly after the judgment, both counsel spoke to newsmen.
Reflecting the matter, it sounds well. The court do what it ought to be done. If there's anything we can attack, maybe we can attack by going to appeal.
There was availability and credible witnesses on ground. He made his confession on TV, everybody saw it, and he pleaded guilty in the court.
The husband of the deceased, Akilu Aliyu, pleaded to Kebbi State government to hasten assent to the judgment.
I feel very happy with the judgment, and I want to plead to Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu to please hasten approval to execute the judgment.
The judgment is considered to be one of the fastest in homicide trial in the country. In Birnin Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) has urged the 154 newly recruited officers and men in Sokoto State to be committed to duty and serve their fatherland with dedication. Dalhatu Abdullahi reports that the NSCDC commandant in the state, Muhammad Saleh Dada, gave the charge at the passing out parade held at Immigration Training College here in Sokoto.
These are the newly recruited NSCDC personnel numbering 154, comprising of 6 officers and 146 rank and file cadre, including 1 female. They have successfully completed 3-month rigorous training in Sokoto State. Addressing officers and the men, State Commandant NSCDC Muhammad Saladada said the new corps have been equipped with tactics aimed at helping them tackle the security challenges in the state and the country at large. Saladada enjoined them to be set to make sacrifices in the service to their fatherland. He assured that the new personnel can execute any task assigned to them and warned them to be law-abiding.
They are well trained. We hope that they are going to represent the organization in a true light. They are going to bring out the best of the organization.
The newly recruited personnel who spoke to NTA News assured of their readiness to serve humanity.
I want to provide security to the state, local government, even the country. I'm very happy. I thank God.
The event witnessed excellent displays that include parade by the graduating officers and the men. In Sokoto, Dalhat Abdullahi, NTA News.
Well, if you missed anything, you can follow up with this news broadcast on our social media handle, nta.ng/live, and other social media handles displayed on your screen. That's it for us here in Sokoto. Nationwide continues with Lydia in Abuja.
Thank you, Nana Aisha. Next is sports update.
Group C takes center stage on Thursday after the ongoing